as leaders, we need to add comfort to people. We need to be the ones that can, if we don't have the answers, direct them, keep them calm, in a situation, especially now.
So today I have the one and only Diane Khoury.
Hello.
I don't even need to introduce you, but I'm going to. You are well known for these luxury events, weddings. Oh, you know it. You have your name to it. It's unbelievable. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Ellen. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm just so excited to dive into the background and how the fuck did you get to where you are today? Like, explain it to me.
Do you know
Where did it all
what?
come from?
We're in COVID. So I feel like for the first time in the last 8 years, I've actually sat down and went, oh my goodness, look at my journey. I've actually had some time to reflect because I myself don't know how I got here. It's kind of been one of those things that when you have a business, you go through so many obstacles. I think definitely, hun, that it wasn't a strategy.
Yep.
It wasn't something that I set out to be. I didn't say I want to be an event planner and this is my goal and I've got a 5-year plan. I came from a corporate background, as you know. Yep. I studied business, so I do have that business background.
You have that mentality.
I have that mentality, and I definitely think it wasn't a waste of time. That really, really helped me develop the basis of where I am now.
And sorry, let's go back even a little bit more. Family. So where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Sydney.
Where?
In Punchbowl, out west. I'm an out westie.
So I had another podcast with Mark Boris.
Yeah.
Punchbowl as well.
Oh, was it? There you go.
You can't take the west. You can take the west out of
Punchbowl.
Yeah. All Westies. It's the best. So family, are they all in business?
No. My parents migrated to Australia. I've got 3 brothers and a sister. And, growing up in a family where my parents struggled, literally struggled to raise us, to bring money home. And, it was hard coming from a third world country and trying to find their way. And I think that for me is a huge thing.
That's the motivation.
That's the motivation. Seeing my parents struggle. Also, one of the biggest thing in my, I'm Lebanese background, culture is a huge thing.
Culture is everything.
Family is everything.
Yeah.
Every Sunday sitting with my grandparents, my uncles, my aunties, a gathering of 50 people, which we're not allowed at the moment, is a normal Sunday in my family.
That's like a non-negotiable.
Negotiable. So events and celebrating and bringing people together is something that was installed for me from a young age. Being around people, being around celebrating and those moments and celebrating through food, through dancing. So
essentially you can put your feet in their shoes.
Yeah.
I can see it, I can feel it. It's your passion. It's authentic. It's real. And that's what makes you so successful in what you do. You're amazing at what you do.
Oh, thank you.
But what becomes beyond it is the passion and the idea behind it. And you treat every single client as an individual. And you can see it from the work that you provide.
Well, that's that. People say, how did you get that brand?
Yep.
And again, I go back to it wasn't, obviously it eventually becomes a strategy, but initially as a first time when you're starting off, you're not sitting there going, what's my brand? What's my brand? It happens by being authentic, by having that attitude that you just said, that you treat people, that sort of basic principles that happen early on that then develop a brand. Go, oh, that's my brand because that's the principles I adopted from the very beginning. And for me, as I said, I was in business. I got married. I had a really nice wedding, and I was a very fashionable person. I love fashion. I worked in retail. Oh,
we've got a video happening now, so everyone will see how beautiful she is.
So, I loved fashion. So when I got married, people approached me, a friend approached me and said, can you help me? And it was that act of giving. It was just, of course I'll help you.
Yeah.
I'll help you. I wasn't really happy in the corporate world.
Yep.
It was more a money thing. I was in there for money.
And it's stability as well.
It's stability. It's knowing that was where something was planned out for me. That was, you can be the GM in the next, 6 years. There was a structure. There was a whole plan for me. And then that whole thing of helping someone's wedding was outside the plan. And
it's just a hobby.
It was a hobby and no one took it seriously. No one gave it.
No one ever takes a good idea seriously until you become successful.
Until you actually take that risk and make it something and find that niche that never existed.
And how many people doubted you at the start?
Oh, I still remember when I went to my manager and said, can I have a career break? I want to take a year off. Because again, I didn't believe in myself as much as I should.
Yep.
And he's like, what do you mean? What do you want to do? I want to be an event planner. I want to go try this thing that I'm doing on the side. And I kind of felt like he laughed it off. So he was like, yeah, okay, go get it out of your system. We'll see you in a year. We support you. We've spent a lot of money and you're an important employee. And
give you your job back.
We'll give you a job back. And you know what? 8 years on, never looked back.
Hello.
And
You know who I am now.
It's just, but, it was kind of like, from a manager saying to me, what's this event planner? You've got this great career with 6 figures and you can, we're here to, you're part of the growth of our company. And that's a huge thing as a young person to go from, do I take the step? And young, married, thinking about a family,
you have
stability.
To make sure,
Do I take that act of faith and leap of faith, or do I stay in something stable? And that was a really hard decision at a young age to make. To go.
You're like the 1%ers because you backed yourself, and if you can back yourself, you can do anything in life. And I think with me as well, I was exactly the same as you. When I worked in mental health, I had a teeth whitening business. It wasn't doing the best. I was just doing, every single night. And I had a government job, same as you. But then I thought to myself, I quit. And I had no other choice than to be successful. And I'm sure you're exactly the same. When you don't have any other choices and there's nothing else happening, you only have one way.
When you take the cushions out and everything, see, I was trying to maintain that job and do it on the side.
So
and there came that point when I was like, I can't do both. And do it well. And that's what it's about. It's about taking that risk and
putting your mind to it, doing it.
And when you have nothing else, and I think that's another thing why there's so many successful immigrants that come into here and do so well. They've had it tough, they've had it hard, and they come into this country and they've got nothing else.
But that's why, because they just use themselves in a loving, in passion. And
they've got to provide.
Beyond. It goes beyond. It goes beyond.
And they've got to provide, and they do so well because they've done it tough, and the only motto in their life is, I've got to win, I've got to do well, I've got to, there's no other way. So not succeeding is an option, is not even an option. And I think that's our mindset. And that's why you are where you are.
But even the fact that, we don't come from money. So we know what it's like. We put ourselves in everybody else's shoes. We understand the client that we have. We know our client very well. We haven't been given everything. And that's why you and I can relate very well together. And from the start when we met, I was like probably 20 years old. You were so successful. And I remember emailing you and you replied to me. No one used to reply to me because I always was like out there. You and Wendy were the only 2 that replied to me. And that's why you never forget where you came from. It's going to put me to tears, but
no, it's so true.
You never forget where you came from, and they will always be your best friends in business because they've supported you when you weren't anything, and I will support them when I'm in nothing. Well, it's really funny that you say that about the job. So one of my franchises actually messaged me yesterday, and she said, "Hey, Ali, I've got a 10-person booking next Monday. Can you please come? It's my old job, and I want to show them why I quit my job." And I was like, freaking hell, of course, I'll make sure, even though I'm in Melbourne that day, I'll be there. And that, oh my God, I love us.
That is so nice.
We've got tears in our eyes, guys. But that's the reason why we are like we are.
We don't forget where we came from, and it is one of those things that it was, whoever said it's easy, like people look at what we do, I think they see me, rock up, today or a rock up to a job, especially in the event world, people see me at that execution day where they don't understand that day is the outcome of the hard work we worked on for that year for that client. And they see me in my shoes, my nice handbag, dressed up.
Every single time Diane does an event, guys, I see her at the end of it and she's walking into the event after the wedding and she's got high heels on. She looks like she's had about 20 hours sleep.
She looks thank you, Alison.
Beyond beautiful. And I think this lady's just been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, completely planned this whole wedding that is beyond anybody's even expectations. And now she looks exceptionally beautiful. And it's just like, you're so true to yourself. You're so good at what you do. And it's just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Thank you. But, that whole perception, unfortunately, and especially with the powers of social media, is that perception online is, what a great, yes, it's an amazing job. I love it because I'm so passionate. But people just see that image of, Diane in that outfit with this immaculate event in that photo, and they think, I want that. I want to be Diane Khoury. And it's great, but they need to understand that the blood, the sweat, the tears, the hard yards, the dealing with different personalities, the falling over and picking yourself up, and then everything else.
How long does it take to plan a wedding?
Look, we get people come to us a month before. We get people come to us a year
month
out
before, and you can execute that. Well, I did it for my Christmas party.
Alison, I've got my Christmas party. When is it? Next week. Okay, done. Look, definitely. There's no set formula in what we do in terms of when people approach us. It's just obviously we have processes and timeframes and things that we need to do, but we adapt. The biggest thing in my business is adapting. The only thing that can't change is that end date. We can't push over that wedding date if we weren't ready.
You can't.
That's such a massive thing.
It has to be perfection. What about difficult clients?
Oh, we all get them.
Yeah.
And that's part of life in any industry. Difficult clients come and go.
But, a difficult client for us is essentially not even a difficult client, because the most that they're going to say is, I need to rehab my teeth whitened, or, you weren't available on this date. We can make that work and we can always go back and redo it. You can't go back and redo a wedding.
No. And that's the thing. And that's why it's so important, to not just be that, I can do this in that initial consultation and talk yourself up.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things about achieving is actually, can you actually execute it?
Yeah.
Don't say you can do things and not actually do the work.
I couldn't agree more.
And if people are difficult and people are disappointed, that's natural. No matter how great you are, there will always be someone, and that could be a communication breakdown. Communication is a big thing. So I think it's just so important now more than ever. We're going through COVID. People are emotional. Sometimes you have to understand it's not you. Don't take it personally. Remove the emotion as a business owner. And we're emotional. We're passionate.
I want to talk about emotion. Emotion is a really good topic, because we love our businesses so much and we've built them from the ground up. So the love for it behind is, And, when I was having Mark on the show, when coronavirus first come on, 30 franchises, highly emotional, no one knows what's happening tomorrow. I gave him a call and I said, please give me some advice on what to do. And he goes, Alison, take the emotion out of it right now and I'll call you tomorrow. He didn't need to say, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. Take the emotion out of it and worry about the facts right now, and we'll worry about the emotion tomorrow. Mm-hmm. My business has now never been better, and everyone's in a really good place because the emotion wasn't there and the facts are. And as a leader, we have to take the emotion out of it. And when you can put your business and then Diane Khoury separate, that's when success comes about.
Totally. And that's how you grow. And especially I'm learning that now more than ever. With my business, it's an emotional day. There's so much emotion. So you can imagine the clients calling me when they realise they have to postpone their weddings, or what are the answers? And I don't have the answers. No one, not even the government, had the answers.
What you have is to be there for them.
And remove my emotions. Not let them know that my business, I also had to deal with, I don't even know if my business, if I can keep my employees. There was just so many things happening internally, but I didn't get on the phone with any client or put my staff on the phone until we removed the emotion. Because if we're emotional, they're emotional.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster. We add, as leaders, we need to add comfort to people. We need to be the ones that can, if we don't have their answers, direct them, keep them calm, in a situation, especially now. And I think COVID's taught, if businesses, how strong a business is, how strong you are and how you can adapt.
It's all about sinking or swimming right now. And the ones who are going to come through are the ones who just keep swimming.
Surviving.
It has been fucking shit for everybody. Excuse the language, but honestly, no one's going to sit here and say it's been good, because it hasn't been.
No.
But what we have to do is take what is a shit situation into a positive situation. And if you can restructure your company, if you can look at everything that was bubbling in the background that you can focus on and make you a better person or a better leader, or, those type of things, that's when you come out more bigger than ever.
Adapting. And I think one of the biggest things now is adapting to that change, adapting to what's happened and leading.
So tell me, the wedding industry has only got 50 people at the moment? To have a wedding?
At the moment, we allow 10 people.
10 people.
We're looking at waiting to hear. Restaurants allowed 50.
Yeah, why is that? That doesn't make even sense.
It really, don't even start me, Alison.
Yeah.
A lot of things don't make sense at the moment. I don't want to knock our leaders. They're doing a great job. And I think it's hard because no one knows what the right answers are. Yeah. But yeah, when we look at 50 people in a restaurant, we look at people protesting in the streets, but yet we can't have, a 20 people event or a 50 people event with people you actually can validate.
Gladys here, please? We need to have a good talk to her.
Yeah, we do need to get Gladys here. But no, at the moment it is 10 and we're hoping to allow for 100. We're looking for an announcement this week. Okay. We're waiting for a roadmap. So at the moment, there's a lot of uncertainty, and you can imagine with our clients, it's all about planning events. Planning can't, tomorrow if the Premier says we can have 100 people events, we can't just switch that event on for tomorrow. There's a lot of planning involved. So we are waiting. It's a bit frustrating, but we are waiting.
Have your clients made new dates, postponed them for new dates?
Some have, and some are holding on.
Some are holding.
And the thing is, it's very easy to be, when a client's emotional and they want to hold on and it's not going to work, you kind of need to be that I'm standing up, give them direction, but you're not telling them do this, do that. It's about giving the pros and the cons, giving them solutions and go, ultimately, it's your decision. And that's what it is.
That's why they hire you for those kind of things, because they don't know and they haven't been through it. And how many weddings have you done? You know exactly what is happening to make sure it works on that day. But yeah, highly emotion is everything.
And this is showing, this is a time it's really showing experience in the industry and how people are dealing times like this, because no one could have planned for this. But times like this are showing the leaders and the people that are experienced with the way they're dealing. So people saying, thank you so much for taking a stance, for going on social media, for talking about it, for being a voice. I'm not getting paid to do that. No. I'm not. It's not about that. But people, whether they're my clients or not, are coming to our page, reaching out and just coming to us just to get some sort of advice, clarity on stuff. And I really think that you can see it now, the businesses that are definitely adapting.
The businesses that essentially, because you are the luxury of weddings and events, right? There's so many new event companies that have decided to open up and probably undercut you as well. I think when you're good at something, everyone's going to copy, and it's a pat on the back for you. But what it actually shows is, for me, yes, I've had so many people open up teeth whitening and, tried to do it and et cetera, but I've always stayed really true to myself, and I'm sure you have as well. I've never dropped my price because they dropped their price. I think a sale is embarrassing. If you have to put a sale on, why would you put a sale on if you're good enough? I put sales on for 48 hours for a birthday sale. I put these on, but I wouldn't put it on for a month, or I wouldn't put it on for so long, because I'm very true to my brand. What we offer is what we're going to deliver. And I'm sure you're exactly the same.
That is definite. Look, competition is something that will always be there. New people being, whether it's they're inspired, whether it's what they see, and there will always be people trying to do what you do, what I do, and what every other business does. We can't, at the end of the day, we can't control that. No, and we can't even try to control that. And that's the problem. Some people are too busy looking left and right, worrying about what competition, whereas as leaders, I think one of the biggest things is focusing on what we do. And when you are the leading, teeth whitening company, the leading planner, one of the biggest challenges is actually retaining that spot. And it's not looking down and going, should I be complete? Should I start dropping my prices? As you said, one of the biggest things is how do you keep doing better? How do you keep leading? How do you keep evolving? And that's a huge thing in our industry. And for us, it's reputation. It's going back to those fundamentals we spoke about, how we treat our clients. For me, the clients are not a one-time transaction, and same with you. For me, it's a DK family. It starts off with a proposal, then they come back to an engagement. Then it's the wedding. Then it's, guess what, I'm having a baby, Diane.
Christening.
And then it's a christening, and then it's to keep that business going and to keep growing and to keep that family where they don't go to the competition because of the price point. It's not going, they went there because they're cheap. It's, hold on a second, how did I treat them? Because if I treated them well, if I delivered, if I executed, they will stay. There will always be people that will go and try the newbie. You can't control that.
Yeah, I've had so many people go to different teeth whitening companies that are a lot cheaper than us, and then they end up coming to us and we have to fix the problem. And I'm like, I don't want to fix it because it's not my work, and I don't want to put my name to a work that needs fixing. Go to the dentist. And that's what I think. You pay for what you get. You pay for what you get, and if you're gonna do something, do it the best. You're gonna go to these cheaper companies. well, you're going to have nothing but problems. The customer service, the refunding of all that, it's going to be a mess.
Yep.
You know?
But at the same time, Alison, I think one of the biggest things is when you are a leader, not to become complacent and not to have the ego that you think you're sitting on this pedestal and that there's no one else that can take that, because in this industry, in this environment that we're living in, it is competitive and people are hungry, and there are some that are not doing a good job and there are some that are. And you can't just assume, oh, they're cheap, they're not great. It's what are we doing to keep, if we're more expensive, we have what's our offering? What's our experience? Why are we more expensive? And all those things that have made your brand where it is. And how do we keep it? Yeah. How do we not become complacent?
So I can tell you what we've done. So we're just in 2 months' time, we had in the last 2 years, I've been focusing on a whole new teeth whitening system. I've been listening to all the feedback from my clients, and I have created a whole new thing. It's going to be the biggest thing I've ever experienced in my life, and it is. But what I have to do for this is, over COVID, I've been able to bring it out a lot quicker, and we've got 2 months until we launch it. What do you do to keep creating things better and better? Because all I do is reinvest every single thing that we have. Like, my business, all it does is reinvest. So essentially, we aren't number one because we're always reinvesting to make things better.
Of course, and for your See, for us, it's a little bit different because our what I do isn't tangible. You can't touch and feel it. Really, it's a service. It's so for me, it's about obviously not, because now my team's grown. So it's looking at the people within my team. Do they reflect the brand? Do they speak the brand? So it's ensuring that the people that are speaking at the front line to my clients, that I've got training them to be, to understand our brand, how we deal with people.
DK events.
Are they DK? Because before it was just used to be me. It used to just be you. Obviously, you have teams, you're franchising. You've got to make sure that those franchisees are reflecting your brand. It's a very similar thing for me. I've got to make sure my team's reflecting my brand, are speaking to my people, my clients, the same way I'd like to take that approach. So that's a really big thing. It's growing, so evolving and growing. And of course, more than anything, it's every story is different for me. Every person that sits in front of me. We spoke about you before. Alison's in love. And you've got a story. And, and I'm sitting here. It's not, oh, you're in love. Okay, let me play in your wedding. Tell me about what it's like. Tell me about your story. I want to know. I want to get goosebumps.
He already knows. He's already seen the Instagram. I already told him exactly where he's going.
Don't worry, honey. I've got it.
What I want for the engagement.
I've got the book. Get the book out. Where do we start? But, it's going back to that. We're selling experiences. So for me, it's about understanding. For some people, they sit in front of me and it's like, we've been trying for 10 years to have a baby and we're pregnant. And, and that's it. And it's just, so for me, it's how do you evolve? It's actually staying true to who you are. And listening to people, listening to what your clients want, like you just said, and then ensuring that you actually execute and you deliver on that, and you're part of that, and making sure your people. So for me, it's my team that work for me. It's also my suppliers, the people that I get on the job. They're part of my team. Speak the same language, have the same morals, ethics, which is such a big thing.
Time frames,
delivering, because they're singing our brands. And that's what's so important. That's why you just said you got on a plane, went to Melbourne, and you know what I mean. And you had to
do it.
You had to back the franchisee because it's important. It's part of your brand. So that's a big thing.
And people buy into you before they buy into your brand. I want to hold it there. We've got so much to dive into. Okay. Let's have a break, and I'm coming back.
Yay.
Are you wanting a dramatically whiter smile? If you're a coffee drinker or a lover of red wine, then Sparkling White Smile's Premium Ultra White treatment is for you. The Ultra White treatment consists of 2 sittings 1 week apart. This headlining treatment is tailored to leave your teeth up to 14 shades lighter post-treatment. For bookings and inquiries, send an email to info@sparklingwhitesmile.com.au. That's info@sparklingwhitesmile.com.au.
So we're back.
We're back.
We just gave each other a sneaky hug.
Sneaky hug. The red lipstick's on my face still. So, Diane, you're a mum. You're also an entrepreneur. How do you do both? How do you prioritize?
You know what? Honest answer, it's a juggle. It's a struggle. I always get asked this question. I get asked a lot because people see, again, the perception is that you always look great. You've got this amazing business. you're a good mum. They just see everything on social media and think she's just smashing it
on the table.
Yeah,
it's my favourite.
You know, and I guess it's definitely a juggle.
Yeah.
There's no answer. And I always say, if someone knows how to nail it in all avenues, please come and spend time with me.
Yeah.
But I think there are things as you grow that you adopt. You learn not to be hard on yourself.
Yep.
Don't be hard on yourself that, you know, if I had to miss a few things for my children or I couldn't drop him that morning, so me and my husband take turns. I think one of the biggest things
is your husband very hands-on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was just about to talk about.
Sorry.
You need that support network.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the support of my family, my husband.
Yeah.
There is no way, especially because it's not just Diane Khoury. It is all those things you just said. I have my I have so many roles. I have a responsibility to my husband. I have a responsibility to my children. I have a responsibility to my clients, responsibility to my team, a responsibility more than anything to myself, my own self.
Yeah.
So I guess it's so important to be able to deliver on all those roles is to be able to delegate to people. So that's why I've got a team. As a business owner, if you want to grow and be able to do those things, you need to be able to look at the things that they can do for you.
And structure.
Structure, routine, doing things for yourself. Like everyone knows that follows me I love training. I love training and I love to eat.
Do you have a time that you wake up in the morning and you have to train?
Yeah, so I get up, the first thing I do in the morning is I wake up, I get my kids ready, myself and my husband take turns with taking the kids to school and then straight to the gym. That's my zone. That's my me time. It motivates me. It allows me to think like I'm doing something for myself. Then I come into the office and sit with the team and we just go through the day.
It's really crazy that you say that because I speak to so many business people and they're all in routine and structure. And every single person goes to the gym. But it's like for me, it's more like I make my bed in the morning. It's the first thing that I accomplish in the morning. Then it's going to the gym. But it's routine in making your head clear for the whole entire day.
Totally agree.
And you can get everything else done for the rest of the day. If I don't go to the gym, my head's all over the shop. I don't know what's really going on. And, you know, you're not your full self and you're not present in the moment.
And that's why I actually listened to a podcast the other day, and one of the biggest advice about, you know, keeping it together mentally, like the whole mental health of COVID at the moment, one of the biggest advice was don't lose your routine through COVID.
Yes.
Even though you're not working, even though you're not, if you start, and I was doing that first 2 weeks, I didn't want to get out of bed. I just wanted to cry. And we all did, and everyone. And one of the biggest, I listened to a podcast and it was like, get back on routine. And I did. I started waking up. I got up, tried to do the things that I normally do. Yes, I wasn't working, but I tried to do things to feel productive because we need to feel good to do well.
And we're busy people. So over COVID, I was still busy. Still had so much going on. And I think kind of look back now, I was like, what was I doing?
I know, exactly.
But the days did go fast. But we are naturally busy people. So we have to remain being busy, even if it's, you know, with our kids, giving more time to our kids. Not you giving more time to your kids, meaning we're giving more time to our partner and family. But we were still making ourselves very busy. And that's who we are as people. That's behind it.
Exactly. And that's why structure, routine is so important. And also not being hard on yourself with all those roles. Like not feeling down if you didn't achieve one thing. I think you've got to be realistic. You've got to set realistic expectations on yourself. If you have so many things that you have responsibilities for, there's no point setting yourself up to fail. You've got to be so like, there's no point me having all these meetings and I know I'm not going to make it to pick up my son because guess what? I'll be a mad woman. I'll be not happy. I'll end up being an awful mum that evening. So I think
and
it's
the kids
about,
will feel it.
They'll feel it.
Do you know that I love like reading and researching and stuff like that. It doesn't matter if you're not around for your kids, right? So say, for example, you go to work all day and you can't pick up your kids. What your kids can feel is if you come home and you hate your job. So they feel if you come home late and you love your job, your kids can feel it. They're happy. You're always going to have a really good relationship. If you do a job that you absolutely hate and then come home and you always, maybe you absolutely hate your job, but you can make sure you pick your kids up on time, they will also feel that.
That is so true.
Did you know that?
It is. But, you know, I definitely agree with that. I think if you're not happy, it's all about that being happy within. That's why it's so important that I say one of your responsibilities is yourself, is that you need to do things for yourself because it doesn't matter how successful your business is, doesn't matter, you know, if you've got this big family, if you're not happy, everyone will feel that energy. So I think it's so important as part of your responsibility is yourself, to be a good boss, to be a good mum, to father figure, whatever it is that you need to take care of you.
Okay.
And I think sometimes we forget ourselves.
Yeah.
And when I
put
started out,
ourselves
I
last.
always put myself last.
Yep.
And I've started to learn that, no, I need to put time for myself.
Yep.
So then I can be happy.
And
there's no point.
is it now a balance? Is there a balance in
Look, I'm
business?
slowly balancing it, definitely. And I think as you grow and mature, it's part of maturity that you start to learn that it is okay to say no to things. I think one of the things as you grow and mature is that when you first start, you're so paranoid about saying no.
Yes, I agree.
So paranoid. You get scared to say no to new work, business, no to your friends, no to, you want to do everything.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things with maturity and growing and having a business is being confident of your brand, of yourself, of your everything, to actually say no to things that are going to compromise the delivery of an event, that are going to compromise you as a mum or a father figure, that are going to compromise you and your health. And I think that's such a big thing. And that takes time. It takes so much time. I'm still learning.
So
I haven't nailed it.
But I'm starting to resonate with you.
Definitely. I'm only I'd say in the last 2 years, after my second child, I started to learn to say no.
Yeah.
And that's so
what your
5 years into my business.
And what your
I
high
learned.
priorities are.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Like before Corona, I would just be like, yes, I'll do everything. And you kind of just forget what is the priorities. And
Because we don't want to disappoint.
We don't want to disappoint.
We're
Like
such
people pleasers. It's the
people
way it
pleasers.
is. Yes.
We want to make everyone
and-
happy.
and
But
smile. No pun intended. But that's our personalities, and it's sometimes can get the better of us, and it's sometimes can turn into a negative situation because then you have too much going on and you're like one of those mouses running on a treadmill and going back and forth. You don't really know where you're going.
and you get burnt out.
Yeah, you get burnt out very quickly. And, you know, everyone can always say, oh, you work 18 hours a day, but you can't physically work 18 hours for the rest of your life. You know, I didn't have a partner before. So now I've got a partner. Now I have
The dynamics change.
I have a new hat to now make sure that I can adapt to. He now needs my time. My franchises need my time. Your kids need your time. We have a million different hats we have to play, and balance is so important. But, you know, I've now, every single week, I write 5 things that I'm going to concentrate on those 5 things, and I'm actually achieving them so much better than what I was before.
Writing things down. I always say that you need to write things down and realistic things, short-term goals that will lead to your long-term goals.
Yeah. What advice can you give to anyone that's starting business?
Oh, big question, Alison.
I love the big ones.
You know, how am I going to answer this? I'll think about what advice I would have wanted someone to give me when I first started. The biggest thing is be yourself.
Yeah.
Be real. In a world that we live in now with social media platforms, with everyone trying to be everyone, with everyone looking at things and saying, this is what I need to be. I think step back and think about, who am I? Ask yourself, who am I? And be authentic, because the authentic person, the person that's real, always stands out.
That is so powerful, Diane. So powerful. Being yourself, that no one can be better than you at being yourself.
No one can be better than you. And they're the people that shine. And I speak about this so much. People, what events degree did you have? Did you study events? How many events did I did none of that. I was myself. I fell into it. I loved it. I was passionate. I was real. I was myself. So I think that is the biggest thing. And then the next thing is do the hard yards. It is not an easy road, and be willing to work, to grind, to dig deep, to fall over, to fall apart, and then sew yourself back up.
And take the good days with the bad and the bad days with the good.
That's it. So be ready for the journey, the roller coaster journey. It's not easy, but above all, just be authentic.
Thank you so much for coming on our show. Honestly, it's been the best. And
I've loved being here.
It's been so much fun. I just love the energy in the room. It's all about the energy.
Thank you so much. And we'll be planning your wedding soon.
Oh my God.
By the sounds
we'll
of
be planning
it.
the engagement. He already knows exactly what I like and what I want. And he knows the number off by heart.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Would you be a bridezilla?
No.
I'm
too busy to be a bridezilla.
You know what? 1 year's time, we'll sit here and have this podcast. Was she a bridezilla? everyone.
I'm in good hands. I don't need to be a bridezilla.
You'd be amazing. I planned events for you already, so we know.
Yeah, it's so easy. I'm like, I know, you know what I like? This is my mood board. Please go ahead with it. And it's perfect. So that's what shows how good you are at what you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for having me.
Anytime. Thank you.